Welcome to the Rundown, and guys, real quick, during the Lakers and Clippers season opener, LeBron James was fouled in the second quarter while he was going up for a tip-in. But the question remaining is whether or not he flopped when he fell down to the floor. Do you think he flopped?
No, that's an edit in the video, man. Stop it. Stop it.
Of course it was a flop. Half the reason why he decided to play for the Los Angeles Lakers was so he can take acting lessons, and they're clearly working out right now.
Well, anyways, guys, let's get on with the show. Let's get on with the show. Welcome to The Rundown, a new sports debate show created by UNLV journalism students, brought to you by The Rebel Report. We'll be debating many headlines pertaining not just to Las Vegas sports, but even national and even international sports. I'm Jason Toktagian. Alongside me are panelists Tony Pascone and Deontay Hagler. How's it going, guys?
What it do, baby?
I like that. What it do? I'm going to steal that.
Oh, okay.
What it do?
Don't take it too far.
What it do? Anyways, guys, let's get started with our first segment, which is What's Buzzing, where we break down some of the biggest attention-grabbing stories across social media. So, what's buzzing? The Washington Nationals and their fans are buzzing because they're in the World Series for the first time in 86 years. However, there might be one guy that doesn't feel so happy and so great about the Nationals making it. That's Bryce Harper. So, guys, what do you think? Do you think Bryce Harper just has an ounce of jealousy in him that his team, his former team, are in the World Series and he's not?
A little bit, maybe. But no, he's not jealous. That is an ex-girlfriend. When your ex-girlfriend moves on, you move on to something better, something new. Forget about your ex-girlfriend. You're on to something better. He's enjoying it.
He has to be jealous because what kind of competitor would he be otherwise? I'd be worried if I was the Philadelphia Phillies and my star player that I just committed all that time, all that money to, your alpha dog that's supposed to bring you all of these championships, he doesn't care that his ex-girlfriend is succeeding without him? That doesn't bug you a little bit?
No, for what? I'm not going to call my ex and be like, hey, I miss you. No.
So what you're basically taking the side of, let's just, no regrets. Live with no regrets. Put it in the past.
In the past. Come on, he's moved on. He's done something better, not just for himself, but for his family as well.
Listen, guys, if we do another Rebel Report rundown in 2 weeks, and you guys win an Emmy without me, I'm going to be extremely angry. And that's going to be exactly what Bryce Harper is feeling right now, even if he says otherwise.
Fair point. But anyways, let's move on to what else is buzzing, because it's Zion Williamson that's buzzing. More specifically, it's his right knee, because reports came out that Zion had to go through surgery to repair a torn meniscus and now is expected to miss anywhere between 6 to 8 months. Now, with his injuries piling on, missing games until December, do you think there's another NBA Rookie of the Year that's going to jump as the favorite?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I'm going with Memphis Grizzlies' Ja Morant or Miami Heat, Tyler Hero.
I still think it's Zion Williamson's Rookie of the Year to lose, even if he's out 6 to 8 weeks, because that's enough time for him to come back and propel the New Orleans Pelicans to what they should be, which is 8th seed in the West. I think that's a fair thing for them.
That would be definitely hard for them to do. The West is definitely packed.
But at the end of the day, we all know these voting shows are they're all politics. He's probably going to win it one way or another.
Everybody wants him to win anyway, so he probably will in the end.
Anyways, guys, now it's time to talk about what's heating up locally, where we discuss some of the most recent headlines that pertain to Las Vegas, as UNLV Football, coming off their shock win away from Sam Boyd at Vanderbilt with a 34-10 final score, were then outplayed on Friday, October 18th against Fresno State, with a final score of 56-27, where UNLV gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter. Now, is it realistic to say that UNLV have a chance of making a bowl game in general?
If they lose another game, no, absolutely not. Call the season done for. But if they were to win out, most definitely I can see them winning out.
You think they can win
if they can beat the San Diego State Aztecs, they're winning out.
I do not think they went out. I think the bowl dream is dead, unfortunately. I thought they had so much momentum after being one of the first Mountain West teams to win in SEC country. And then to just lay an egg like that against
You can't
Fresno
give
State.
up on them. You can't give up on this team. They have a lot. Keen Oblak, that man is bad. That is a bad man right
He
there.
will be a bad
And
man.
you got the number one receiver for the Rebels, Randall Grimes, who's definitely putting up outstanding numbers. So you have to look at this team. And then you also have junior running back Charles Williams, who will not
He's
only
a
put
beast.
the team on his back. So he would definitely
Do you
be more
guys,
than
real
that.
quick, do you think Tony Sanchez is under the most pressure in his tenure at UNLV?
Yes, only because he's done more. He's done everything else outside of football than win games. He hasn't won games like that, and I think that's where the pressure comes in. It's not winning games.
I think he's under pressure, but what saves him is that who else do we have coming in? Who's ready to take his job? I think it's time that we give him more of a shot. I think give him at least one more year before we really stick
One
him
more
on the hot
year?
seat.
I don't know. That's
Now,
tough.
let me see, guys. Let's move on to the other local news, which pertains to the Golden Knights, because they haven't found much consistency to start their third NHL season. For example, on October 19th, the Knights got their first shutout of the season to the Penguins in a 3-0 win, and then on the 21st of October, they got outclassed by the Philly Flyers 6-2. At the time of taping, the Golden Knights hold a 7-4-0 record, which is not bad. They're third in the Western Conference. But the question lies, are injuries and suspensions to blame for these inconsistencies, or is there something more rooted to the problem?
So we're just going to give everybody an excuse? Everybody gets an excuse? No, the next person steps up. If one goes down, the next person steps up, and you go into that position and you do what you have to do to win games. Injuries and suspensions are not an excuse for not winning games.
I totally agree with you. The problem is that they constructed their roster in such a way that they gave themselves no room for error. They waste their roster spot on Ryan Reeves, who pretty much brings nothing to the team except fighting.
Oh, that's a little bit controversial. It brings a lot to the team. I mean, morale and, he scores.
Morale, but Morale doesn't score you goals. Who is scoring goals is Eric Holla, who is pretty much his replacement for the Carolina Hurricanes right now. He's got 7 goals already for the year. And I mean, they really do need Nate Schmidt and Alex Tuck to come back soon. And if they don't score that goal with 1 minute left against Chicago the other night, we're not joking around like this, because I think the morale of the team is way worse.
In general, it's a team effort. We can't keep giving the Knights excuses. This would be 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So can't keep giving it to them.
Oh, boy. I know you upset a lot of Vegas Golden Knights fans there, but, guys, it's time to move on. Now it's time to move from the ice rink to the hardwood floors, as the Runnin Rebels' first exhibition match is set to tip off on Friday, October 25th against West Coast Baptist College. But I want to open the discussion with this. Even though the Runnin Rebels have fallen from relevancy in comparison to the days of Jerry Tarkanian, does TJ Otzelberger still have a high degree of expectation? And what would you consider a successful season for him?
For him, for his first year here, I'll say second or third seed in the Mountain West, behind the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs. Yeah, I don't believe that there's really that high expectations, because can't really get much worse. I mean, they were what, 14 and 17 last season.
Okay.
So I mean, I expect out of the Runnin Rebels this season 1 win in the Mountain West tournament, NIT bid. I think that's fair. Is it not?
I do think so, but there's a lot of new guys, so it's hard to tell, because what if the new system from TJ Otzelberger shocks the entire Mountain West?
See, I think the same thing. But you also have to look at it. Nevada's coming back. Reno, they're coming back. They're only going to miss like 2 players from that roster, or 3 players from that roster. So then you have to look at the Bulldogs, and their team is their whole team is coming back. So it'll be hard to say.
All right, guys, we got to move on now, because it's time to send it over to Samantha Mann, who caught up with some UNLV students to hear what they had to say about the potential relocation of another Oakland sports team to Las Vegas.
Talks about Major League Baseball moving to Las Vegas. I decided to come to campus and discuss with students what their thoughts are about the Oakland Athletics making a home in our city.
I think just the more the merrier. When you think about it, it's just more and more promotion for sports, and it would also bring more attention to Vegas, so why not?
All the drama of a move really surrounds the plan that the Oakland Athletics have to redevelop the 155-acre Coliseum where they're currently playing. However, it's caused a lawsuit between the team and the city. Now, the commissioner of the MLB, Rob Manfred, is threatening to move the A's to Las Vegas if the lawsuit is not dropped.
The Oakland A's, I think it would be a shift for them. It would be good, but it would negatively affect the minor league team this year, the Las Vegas Aviators, especially because the Aviators are the team that those players are playing to get to the major leagues. So I think it would be a good thing, but more of a bad thing.
Man, I thought there'd be downsides for all these the Knights, the Raider, like all this stuff coming, and there hasn't seemed to be any yet. Maybe parking, but I think where they want to build, if they do want to build a MLB stadium, I don't know, I've heard talks of maybe taking down the Rio, building it there. I mean, then again, we talk about parking. Like, where would parking go? You know, now we have everything within like a 1.5 mile, 2 mile radius. Like, where's everybody going to park? That'd probably be the only con, I think.
So, guys, do you think Vegas is ready to adopt a new professional sports team, or do you think Vegas should pace itself?
I absolutely think that Vegas should be pacing itself. I think we're as full as we possibly can be right now.
No. Stack it up. Stack the books, baby. Bring in another Oakland team, because I don't know what's going on out there in Oakland. I don't. But Vegas, we're ready. We're always ready.
We're not ready.
You know what? As a matter of fact, give us an NBA team.
Why not?
Add on to
lacrosse. Just bring everybody. Why not
it.
2 lacrosse teams? Let's just bring everybody here. It's a town of excess, so let's bring more.
Nothing else
let's
matters
just keep
here.
gorging on sports.
I just want MLS and the NBA. But anyways, guys, it's all right. Still to come, the debate. We're going to be having the biggest takeaways from the NBA season opener. And later, it'll be time to bring back the self-proclaimed best pizza review show in Las Vegas. Stick around.
Rebel Report anchor auditions in 3, 2, 1.
This is the very first edition of the Rebel Report. I'm Casey Carpenter.
Somebody tell Hey Reb to read the prompter, please. The prompter script is good.
You gotta talk.
Okay, next.
Hey bro, did you hear about the Runnin Rebels winning 3 straight games?
No.
Come on, bro. Did you hear about Bryson Stott winning Outstanding Rebel of the Week?
No.
Bro, that's tough. Did you hear about Win Zoo being ranked?
Dude, how do you know all this?
Dude, I follow Rebel Report.
Welcome back to the Rundown, and guys, it's time to segue to national sports as we debate some of the hottest topics across the nation and even across the globe as the 2019-2020 NBA season tipped off on Tuesday, October 22nd, with some marquee matchups including the New Look Celtics taking on the 76ers, the Trail Blazers taking on the Nuggets, and the big one, the Lakers and the Clippers facing off. But first and foremost, I want to talk to you guys about who had the most impressive performance out of all of their season opening games.
I'm going to go with Kyrie Irving because those 50 points he dropped in Minnesota, unfortunately, in a loss. And then second of all, I was going with Karl Anthony Towns because he actually beat Kyrie. Karl Anthony Towns, 36 and 14. Not bad.
What? I'm going with Detroit Pistons, Andre Drummond. 32 points, 23 rebounds, 3 steals, and 4 blocks. That is an excellent game for a big man that's not getting any notice. Mind you, he barely made the All-Star game last year.
I mean, but those rebounds, those are big numbers that Andre Drummond drops usually. I'm going to go with something different. I was going to go with Spicy P, a.k.a. Pascal Siakam with the Raptors, but I'm going to go with Fred VanVleet. 34 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, a PER, player efficiency rating, of plus 18, meaning every single time he was on the court. Basically, they outscored the other team, which was the Pelicans, by 18 points. He did all of this in 44 minutes with an overtime win, 130-122 on ring night. What do you got to say about that?
That's what you're supposed to do. That's
a career high. It's a career high in
Especially
points.
against the Pelicans. You're supposed to do that. That is a young team. You're supposed to dominate a young team. Now, if you look at the Detroit Pistons, now that game, or you can even look at other games. The Philly game.
Don't forget Luka Doncic, 34. One of the best young players in the NBA right now. I think we both agree on that.
34 points, yeah. And who did they play again?
Denver? No, it wasn't Denver.
No, it was the Washington Wizards. It was the Washington Wizards. Bradley Beal got a technical.
Yes, he did, and he got ejected with, what was it, 1 minute left?
For
whatever.
waving.
I feel bad for Wizards fans. But anyways, let's continue riding this NBA wave, guys, because we need to now focus on that big game, the Lakers and the Clippers. Now, although Paul George didn't play for the Clippers and Kyle Kuzma didn't play for the Lakers, did we get a sense of what these new look teams are going to bring throughout this NBA season? Or are we going to expect what we already saw throughout the season?
It's going to be better. What we just seen, that was only game 1. That's the first game of the season. That's the first matchup that we're ever going to see of the Clippers and the Lakers until later on throughout the season. Both teams are going to get better. Paul George will come back. Kyle Kuzma will come back. Rondo will come back. LeBron will knock the rust off his elbows and legs and knees.
And LeBron James, I mean, the game that he had, it was, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. I mean, almost a triple-double.
Almost.
But even though he almost had a triple-double, it just wasn't good enough.
No. And it's LeBron and Anthony Davis combined for 38 points first half, and then second half they combined for 3. Like, they have to get it together. So it's one of these things to where you just have to wait, be patient, let the season go throughout. There is 81 more games left after game 1. So you just have to just see it that way. And then with Kawhi, man, Kawhi started off slow, but he ended the night with 30 points and he almost had a triple-double with 6 rebounds.
In the first half, he made 7 straight shots. He was unconscious.
It was unbelievable, and he was 9 for 10 at the free throw line. So you also have to look at it and sweet Lou Will coming off the bench. So you gotta look at those. So it's only going to get better from here.
All right, guys, let's move on real quick to the final topic in national news. The Astros and the Nationals are playing each other in the World Series, but the Nationals have a 2-0 lead at the time of taping. Are they going to pull this off? Are they going to pull off the upset? Or are the Astros going to regain themselves and come back and win this series?
I have the Astros coming back and regaining this series because this does not look good. They lost 12-2.
Guys, the series is over. The Washington Nationals are going to be the World Series champions this year. I cannot believe it. Bryce Harper cannot believe it either, most likely. But this one is over. I believe that the pitching combination of not Verlander struggled more than I thought.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole gave up those runs in the first couple of innings. That was bad. That killed the series for the Houston Astros.
So you're calling a sweep?
Not sweep, I think 6.
In 6 games. All right, anyways, guys, that's some pretty hot takes. Now it's time to move on to this week's pizza review with Derek and Diamond.
So we're here at Good Pie doing a little pizza review action. And we got the Grandma's Foot.
Grandma's Special.
Grandma's Special. I don't know.
Why can't you get the name right?
It's Grandma's something.
Grandma's Special.
Well, let's give this sucker a shot. Look at that.
Very different.
So what do we got? We got some pepperoni. We got the jalapeno.
Yeah.
And it's got what? Some kind of honey on it. And I like the curled pepperonis. Those are always fantastic.
There's a lot going on.
It's like when you have a Thanksgiving with your family and, you got your drunk uncle and you got the kids playing. There's so much going on. You don't know what to do. That's what this pizza is like for me.
No, would you order this on your own? Would you come back and get this same pizza?
I don't think so.
That's crazy. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I really don't.
What do you give it? What do you think? 1 out of 10.
It's not that. I think it's a little better than the average. I'm gonna say 6.
I'm gonna go 6.5 because it's good. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it's good for one time.
Yeah. 1 and 9.
We all know those. Yes. 6.5. Here at Good Pie. Cheers.
All right. Thank you, Derek and Diamond. By the way, I love jalapenos on my pizza. Still to come, each of us on the desk have an opportunity to discuss a topic that wasn't covered on the show, which is going to be the big thing. So make sure you guys stick around.
Hey, yo, I'm Jafar Opso, and I'm here with my man, Brandon. Brandon, what makes you a better basketball player? Is it your shots?
Nah, Jafar.
Brandon, is it the crossover?
Nah, Jafar.
Is it the shoes?
Nah, Jafar.
Is it the height?
Nah, Jafar.
Then what is it?
It's Rebel Report.
I'm here at the Man in the Basin where the Asians are down.
Speedway left more than correct. City National with a majority of the regular working out.
Coming into the
And let's take a look at what they have to say. What does it mean for you to be selected to represent?
Welcome back. Now, as the rundown comes to a close, it's time to present our final segment, The Big Thing, as Christian Zaipanya joins us in studio to talk to us about the NBA and its current relationship with China.
Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong. A tweet shared by Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey. This phrase initially was in opposition to a proposed extradition bill in China, but then shaped into pro-democracy protests. With Morey's involvement in sharing the tweet, ironically during the team's exhibition in China, the consequences set in not just for him and his team, but rather the NBA as a whole. With China as the league's top international market, the NBA suffered significant financial losses. Just one shared tweet had this power of destruction. LeBron James was opposed to Morey's involvement, stating it was misinformed and uneducated on the situation. All things considered, you can't say James is wrong to stand against Morey. The league had nothing to do with the situation. And with Morey's position, he set the tone for something that could have been completely avoided. Contrastingly, Shaquille O'Neal stated that Morey was right in sharing the tweet, since we as Americans have the right to freedom of speech. Even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver advocated for player speech freedoms. Unfortunately, this isn't the same everywhere. Of course, a humanistic approach is trying to fight for what's morally right, but in situations like this, there has to be consideration for the time and place for such things. Morey eventually apologized for the tweet, stating they were not representative of the Rockets or the NBA. Unfortunately for him, it indirectly is, especially with this position. And just about anything nowadays, thanks to social media, has more meaning than one would think. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Christian. So guys, you heard him, but I want to hear your guys' stance and opinion on this, whether or not the NBA and China can repair this sort of relationship.
I think they can repair this relationship, but what they need to do is put it on the back burner until next offseason. Don't even mention it until then, because there's no real reason to. There's no upside for them to even bring it up right now.
Well, it's business. This is the business of the NBA, especially if they're going to go internationally. So they have to continue to make these talks and make these decisions. And yes, Christian is right. It isn't everywhere that people are able to speak out like we do here in America. So therefore, I think players should have not spoken out. LeBron James shouldn't have spoken out. James Harden, and then Daryl Morey. Your PR team should at least informed you like that's not the tweet to tweet.
Yes,
it's not. With that being said, it's do you think of the business? Do you think of what's best for the business, or do you think of what's best for the players or the people?
The problem is, I feel like to repair the relationship with China, it's going to bring so much negative publicity in America because it's the Chinese government that you have to appease. You have to do what they want. And I don't know if the NBA really wants to touch that right now.
Of course not, because China executives wanted Daryl Morey fired and Adam Silver. Yeah. Adam Silver said no, we're not doing that. So,
yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I mean, I think LeBron James was right whenever he said Daryl Morey should have tweeted that. Maybe after the fact, maybe when LeBron James and the Lakers and the Nets weren't in China, just for their safety. But anyways, guys, that will do it for this episode of The Rundown. Make sure to follow The Rebel Report at Rebel Report UNLV on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And don't forget to follow Rebel Report _UNLV on Instagram for exclusive updates on everything surrounding The Rundown, The Rebel Report, and Vegas sports. Goodbye, everybody.